So 1 year later, California continues to work on the recovery after the devastating wildfire. Let's look back at the warnings and missteps of the Californian officials. Okay, so there is a notice that is sent January the 3rd about fire weather watch. That's issued for all of Los Angeles County. The mayor is made aware, but January the 4th, after she receives that notice, she travels, Mayor Bass, all the way to Ghana for inauguration of the president. All right, so you get to January the 7th. About 11:27 a.m., the wildfire starts spreading. About 12:07, the evacuation order is issued. And then 3:30, the fires grow 6 times the size. So it's getting bad. The mayor still has not left. Eden Fires emerges, and then January the 8th, finally, and you saw those cameras waiting for her as she got back from Ghana on January the 8th. The folks are upset, and they have made it very clear to the mayor as well as the governor they want action done. I take you back to January the 9th when this mother confronted the governor, and his response is telling. Watch.
Governor, I live here, Governor. That was my daughter's school, Governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
I'm sorry. There's literally, I've tried 5 times. That's why I'm walking around to make the call.
Why is the president not taking your call?
Because it's not going through.
So he lied to that woman. He said he was talking to the president right now. She says she wants to speak to him. He says the call dropped because there's no signal there. That was telling. Then that was President Biden as the president. But then there's a new commander-in-chief that comes in January, Donald J. Trump. He gets there, has a press conference with the governor as well as the mayor, and he tells the mayor this.
You have emergency powers just like I do, and I'm exercising my emergency powers. You have to exercise them also.
I did exercise them.
Because I looked, I mean, you have a very powerful emergency power, and you can do everything within 24 hours.
The firemen weren't getting the resources that they needed. Some of the water resources weren't the best. And the mayor wasn't allowing the people to go back and view their home to start reconstructing. January the 31st, finally they get it under control. And the Easton and the Palisade fires are fully contained. And then you get to February the 5th. Newsom meets with Trump for the survivors' disaster relief, and only about over 500 places have been recovered since then. Meanwhile, our next guest has uncovered what he's calling a smoking gun, linking the governor, Gavin Newsom, and his administration to the blaze. Joel Pollak has been digging into the story after he lost his home in the fire and had to personally retrieve buckets of water to fight the fire around his property. He's now the opinion editor for the California Post, a new 7-day-a-week digital and print newspaper is launching January the 26th, designed to bring the hard-charging, plain-spoken journalism of his sister publication, the New York Post, to the West Coast. Joel has been kind enough to join us right now. Joel, what can you tell us?
Well, good morning, and first of all, just a couple of things. I did manage to save my home, in fact, with those buckets of water, but there was no water running through the pipes. There was no water available in the hydrants. So myself and 2 neighbors, we were able to put out the fire on my fence, save my home, and help save neighbors' homes. And neighbors helped save my home. So this is really a story also of the resilience of a neighborhood. But I should say that this smoking gun evidence wasn't found by me. It was uncovered during the course of private lawsuits against public authorities who failed in their duty to protect Pacific Palisades. And they have released drone footage that shows smoke rising from an earlier fire that took place on January 1st, 2025, called the Lockman Fire, which the fire department failed to extinguish fully as it smoldered in the roots of plants. And we believe, and many others believe, that part of the reason that fire was never fully extinguished was that the state of California had a policy on parkland of not allowing heavy fire suppression equipment into areas that were considered sensitive, either because they had rare plants or because they possibly had cultural resources. And if you read the documents, these policies, which were crafted in late 2024, said that you could not suppress fire in the state park, which is right up against Pacific Palisades, unless you had an archaeologist present to tell you where you could and could not put out the fire. So as a result of these policies, you had this massive inferno that spread in high winds and that destroyed the plants and likely many of the cultural sites anyway. This policy helped guide firefighters because it had previously been used even against public departments that tried to suppress fire or to cut fire breaks. The governor of California, Gavin Newsom, who you showed there earlier, lying to one of my neighbors, he says that the state of California is not responsible, that this was a local decision by firefighters. He says he sent 110 fire engines to Southern California in advance of the extreme winds, but he did not send fire engines to that spot where there had been a fire on January 1st, 6 days before the wind event, where there was smoldering fire, where some residents had reported smoke, and where the state knew there was a huge risk of reignition.
So I guess your argument, Joel, is that it could have been contained. I want to take our audience to this quote. It's from the Wild Management Plan. It's issued by the California State Parks. This is December 2024. Unless specified otherwise, state parks prefer to let Topaganda State Park burn in a wildfire event. What's your reaction?
That has outraged residents. In fact, this morning at 10:30 local time, there's going to be a protest in Pacific Palisades called They Let Us Burn, and it's based largely on that passage, discovering that the official policy of the California state government was to let the park burn is just shocking. It does explain some of the very poor fire response. People don't blame the individual firefighters. There were incredible acts of heroism that day. They did everything they could. They tried to save homes. They worked through the night for several nights. But there was a state policy of allowing these fires to burn, with the idea being that this is a natural process and you have to let the fire burn, but with no regard for the human communities that are bordering the state park, and actually, in the long run, no regard for the environment. It's much worse for the environment, and if you care about climate change, much worse for carbon emissions if you let these small fires burn into massive conflagrations. There need to be controlled burns to remove some of the fuel. There need to be brush clearance policies, and Gavin Newsom has failed to clear brush, and the state has prevented, in some cases, private landowners from clearing brush adjacent to their properties. This is a state failure, it's a city failure, and nobody is owning up to it. Instead, they're issuing watered-down after-action reports that delete or remove the responsibility of local agencies, and there's no effort to make sure this doesn't happen again.
So, Joel, despite all of this evidence that you just laid out for our audience, Newsom has denied any state responsibility for the blaze. Meanwhile, the California Post debuts on January the 26th. Are you excited?
I'm tremendously excited. We need the California Post to hold up a mirror to state politicians and to give the public a platform that is an alternative to the dominant left-of-center perspective and that tells Californians we deserve better than what we're getting from our government. It's not about Democrats versus Republicans, but it really is about accountability. There has been none thus far in the California fires, and that is why the California Post's mission is so important.
It is important, and it's going to do excellent work, just like the sister paper, the New York Post. We happen to be in the same building. Joel, thanks so much for joining the program.
Thank you.
All right, more Fox and Friends straight ahead. We got a busy show straight ahead.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.